David Nicholas, St. Louis Post-Dispatch business columnist. This story about Amazon came out, and I said, we got to get somebody on to talk about this. Amazon has decided not only are we going to sell you everything else under the sun, but we're going to sell you groceries as well. This is just truly remarkable to me.
It is. That's their big ambition, but people shop for groceries more often than they shop for anything else. So if Amazon really wants to dominate the way we shop in the future, they feel they have to be in food.
They have to be in everything. It seems.
Exactly. Yeah.
We actually had a story on earlier this morning, and it may even been Amazon. They said they will sell you clothes, ship them
but it
to
was
you,
Amazon.
and you can try them on, see if they fit, you like them, and either pay for them or ship them back.
Well, and that's actually telling for the grocery store. I mean, people say, "Gosh, people will never shop online for groceries. They want to see how ripe the peaches are. They want to they want to look at the cut of meat before they buy it." But people said that about clothes, and Amazon now sells more clothes than Macy's.
Really?
And they will sell more clothes than Macy's this year, and the department store industry is really hurting because of that.
If you're, and I know that Deerberg, Straub's, Schnucks, that they
Mm-hmm.
all have shopping that you can do online or home delivery.
They have introduced delivery options recently, and they're going to have to up their game to compete with Amazon.
Because Amazon, I mean, it's almost like the Walmart of the world in the sense that they can command prices and they can dictate to their providers exactly what they. I think it was
even food companies like Post and Kraft. They've seen their share price hit because of the assumption that Amazon's going to press them on their profit margin,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
And I remember Walmart is another one of these companies that they came out several years ago and they said by such and such a day we want to have all of our products have those little electronic chips,
the RFID,
the RFIDs,
yes.
And that's going to help us with our quality control. It's going to help us with shipping and so on and so forth. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. We won't sell whatever it is you're offering, which is just remarkable.
That's one thing. Amazon is the master of logistics, and I mean they've now. What prompted this discussion is they bought Whole Foods on Thursday, I believe it was, and they're entering at the high end of the market, that natural and organic. They see a lot of growth there.
But you know what? The joke though is with Whole Foods, it's your whole paycheck, because it's a pricey place. Good stuff, but pricey.
It is, but that's partly because Whole Foods doesn't have the technology that retailers like Amazon or even Walmart or a Target have to track their goods. They don't have the logistical expertise. Amazon will bring that. They will probably make Whole Foods more price competitive.
Yeah, that would be a smart thing to do.
It would be good for consumers.
Talking with David Nicholas, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, his business columnist there. It would be interesting to see how they're going to do the distribution on this. I mean, Whole Foods, I don't know if they're countrywide, but they're going to have to be. I mean, it's not like they're going to have somebody from Amazon go to a Whole Foods and buy and stuff in a box and ship it. They're going to have distribution centers. I mean, everything is going to have to be. This almost sounds like it's a bottom up from ground up start for this whole thing.
Well, it will be. I think they'll probably remake redo the Whole Foods stores, which are not I mean, the logistics experts tell me they're not very well organized as far as being able to stock them quickly and track the goods.
Be interesting to see, as you mentioned, at the price point on some of these products. It's going to be really interesting to see how much pressure Amazon is going to be able to bring to bear to all these providers, and say, okay, we want to buy X. Well, we're going to buy fish from you, say hypothetically, and you're going to have to reduce your price by X number of cents. So it's going to be it's telling.
Which Walmart already did. Over the last couple of decades, they've been putting that kind of pressure on. And in the grocery business, you've got almost a price war going on between Walmart, Aldi, and Lidl, which is also a German company that's starting to open stores on the East Coast. Yeah,
Aldi is a fascinating store to me. I always thought of it as the really super cheap grocery store with the products not being very good. That's the one where if you go and you get the cart, you got to put a quarter in the slot, and you get the quarter back if you bring the
quarter back. You got to bring your own bags.
But surprisingly, the food is very, very good, and they have their own product lines, and
they've upped the quality, and they're they've taken serious market share from traditional grocers.
What's this going to mean to our local grocers when this thing finally gets ramped up? Because I understand it in the grocery business, the price it's just razor thin, the amount of money that you can make.
It is, but Amazon has in other categories has been willing to operate with even thinner profit margins than its traditional competitors. So I think, as I said, I think Schnucks, Deerbergs, and all are going to have to up their game. They're going to have to find a way to compete at lower price points. They're going to have to improve their delivery service and all of those all the technology aspects.
It would seem to me too that if by buying Whole Foods, as you said, that's sort of a niche market for people. It's not an inexpensive store to go to. Food is very good. The products are very good. But if you're, again, one of the local grocers or anywhere else in the country, you might be saying they can have that. We're not going to be concerned about it. We're going to consider to grow out our own home distribution system and that sort of thing. But that's a market that we're not even fooling around with.
Oh, that would be fine. But most people think Amazon's ambitions go well beyond the natural and organic space. That they're going to use this as a testing ground. It gives them prime locations in I think 40 some major metro areas. That is no small thing for Amazon, which is they're building out warehouses in the St. Louis area so that they could
so they can do the product distribution.
Launch their grocery
and
service.
It's at the same time too. If this works for them, that doesn't mean that they wouldn't go to another company. You see these grocery store chains that they seem to buy and sell stores all over the place all the time.
Yeah.
And I wonder though if you're the well, let's use Straub's as an example. They have 2 or 3 locations in the metro area, and they're again they're a high-end, high-quality place. I mean, it's one of the few places you go now. They still have a meat counter.
They do.
You can't just walk in there.
You get your custom, cut.
You can't just go in and buy a package of hamburger. They take it out of the case and that sort of thing. I wonder if they would be more concerned with something like this happening with Amazon and Whole Foods.
I think actually Straub's would probably be less impacted, just because they do have that high touch, high service aspect where people come in and they want something, personalized or customized, or they really want assurance of the quality. That shopper is probably less likely to go online and click on Amazon to buy their meat.
What's on your plate today for business news from the Post-Dispatch? Anything exciting other than the
well,
I don't.
You probably heard about the Uber CEO resign.
Oh yeah,
that's a big business story.
The part that got me about that though is he supposedly said, okay, fine, for the good of the company, I'll go ahead and step down, but I'm still going to stay on the board, which I found fascinating.
That is it. We'll see how long that lasts. It's his big investors basically told him he was done. And that's not a pleasant thing.
Well, it would be interesting too to see what kind of contract he has and whether there would be a forthcoming buyout offer for him by saying, okay, it's time for you to really move on.
Oh, I suspect he gets some severance. But the other interesting thing will be, does the direction of the company change? And
they've been doing more and more and more, not only in the United States, but where was I reading? India. That they're just exploding in India.
Exactly.
So much. I talk to more and more people who use that company or Lyft, one or the other. Just take your pick. And some of whom live in major metropolitan areas, and the public transportation is almost always better in New York or Chicago But when you get in other parts of the country like L.A., it's cheaper than renting a car or owning a car to use that service on a regular basis. So.
They've really disrupted the transportation business, but they're getting some pushback from their drivers about about compensation issues, and we'll see. Whoever the new CEO is may have to make some tweaks.
Well, and the surge pricing too is another issue for people.
That has gotten some criticism, especially when there's a major
snowstorm
or natural disaster. Or something.
But I understand the concept behind it, which is we're trying to entice more drivers to get out. Yeah, we want more cars on the streets to be able to do this, and that's the way to do it. Pay them more money, basically. So, fascinating stuff. We're going to have to keep an eye. I'll keep reading your column and see
Okay.
more about this business with Amazon and Whole Foods as well. It's a fascinating story.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Thanks for coming by and joining us today. David Nicholas, St. Louis Post-Dispatch business columnist, joining us at 9:20 here on the